Okay, this is Tweeting in the Classroom, how Twitter and other social media platforms can benefit education. My name is Andy Fong, and this is for the EDU 6323 course at Northeastern University. And this presentation will demonstrate why utilizing social media platforms such as Twitter can be beneficial to education in the classroom. We will get there by covering the following: brief history of educational technology, where we are today, where and how our students and faculty fit in, boundaries and expectations, and of course we'll cover a couple potential issues as well. Educational tech, a brief history. The delivery of educational content has taken many forms over the centuries, including, but of course not limited to, oral communication, which could be called lecturing, written communication, the textbooks that we're familiar with, broadcast radio and film, and a computer-based delivery for educational tech. And as you look at the progression of content delivery methods over time, it does become clear that the field of education is attempting to keep up with the technology, at least in practice. It is also important to recognize that although these forms of delivery have evolved over time, some variation of each is still used in conjunction with one another today. And it's fitting where we are today. Students are increasingly online, there's no mistake about that. The internet and its applications have become necessities woven into our society and culture. Mobile applications have increased our access to online content, and according to Statista, as of the summer of 2015, so currently right now, more than 100 billion applications have been downloaded from the Apple App Store. It does not include Google or Droid. Among those, 2% are categorized as social media, while just under 10% are categorized as education, which is the third most popular category. So you see that social media is at 2%, which seems kind of low, but when you compare it to 10%, which is what education is, which is the third most popular category, the discrepancy is not that big, especially when there's 100 billion applications downloaded. And to crunch some more numbers, currently, Twitter has 316 million monthly users, and these are unique users. They also have 500 million tweets per day, and 80% of these users are active on mobile format. They have 1.5 with a B monthly users, and 1.25 billion users are active on the mobile format. This platform population is larger than most countries. The only countries that have a larger population than Facebook are India and China, which is just staggering when you stop to think about it for a moment. And finally, Google+. They have 300 million monthly users, 20 million of which are active on the mobile format. And an interesting note is 28% of their monthly users are millennials. So that's kind of our target audience here for this. So how do our students fit in? The program that I'm focusing on for this is the graduate programs within the College of Computer and Information Science at Northeastern University, and this encompasses master's, PhD, and certificate level students. Those programs are high-achieving students, typically with at least 1 or 2 years experience professionally within the industry. Predominantly international, with most of those students coming from India, China, and the Middle East. And these students also join our programs with intentions of starting careers in computer programming, software development, security analysis, general network security or security in general, and or teaching. These are the career goals. So how does tech fit in with these students? Well, as indicated by membership numbers, it is highly likely that our students are already living on social media. Interacting with it on a daily, already there. International representation, outside of the United States and Canada hovers at about 80% for both Facebook and Twitter. Facebook has about 82% international representation, and Twitter has 77%, which is quite high when you think about it. With a focus on computer science or information assurance or security, our students are already technology-driven or technology-minded, and many will go on to work for these companies that we're talking about or even start their own. So how does it change the classroom? It is critical that the educational community adopt the use of social media in the classrooms. However, it should never wholly replace traditional instruction methods. Social media platforms should be used as a supplement to the lectures, readings, and application of course content. It should not be used as the sole source of course content or delivery of that content. Ideally, social media will allow students to further explore course ideas through expanded discussion, which is in real time, outside of the classroom, on their free time, whenever an idea pops into their head or a question comes up or somebody else poses a question, as well as accessing additional readings and course materials which can be shared by faculty or peers through these social media outlets. So why bother with this? When referencing Liu et al., Nicholson and Galgara indicate with the literacies of the Internet and Information and Communication Technologies, or ICTs, are soon to be important determinants of an engaged life in an online age. What that's saying is we are currently within an online age, and it's becoming more and more important and critical for citizens of this age or this era to be fluent or functional with these technologies. And this is kind of just driving that point home. Then according to Nicholas and Galgara, a study by Cassens-Knorr found that Twitter was more effective than traditional methods in supporting students' collaboration and co-construction of knowledge, inspiring students' continuing active engagement with subject matter beyond the classroom, gather in-depth information for class assignments. So right there, this is saying that Twitter, one of those social media platforms, is really helping students to stay engaged, to seek out further information beyond the classroom. They're no longer confined to the four walls of the classroom, the lecture hall, but they can use their phone, use their iPad, use their computer to further that conversation with not only their classmates, but anybody in the world. Faculty and pedagogy. Faculty may be resistant to the idea. Working to get them on board is critical, maybe the most critical aspect of getting a success for this venture. Helping faculty understand that students will become more engaged, increase their participation in the coursework, and effectively improve their performance is a really good place to start. If faculty see that students will be improved in their courses, that's only going to be a good thing for them, for the students, for the program, for the college in general. Utilizing social media does increase the amount of work expected of faculty, but not by much. We know that faculty are very busy with scholarship, with research, and with service. Adding another piece to that puzzle for them can be challenging and can be frustrating. But the workload shouldn't increase by much. Ideally, faculty are there to lay the groundwork or inspiration that will spark positive discourse among the students. Monitoring conversations for appropriateness, content comprehension, and participation will be important. This will all depend on course content, pedagogical style, and department policy. But the key to remember here, social media is meant to supplement the course, not replace that. I've said it once, I probably will say it again before we're done here, but it is a supplement, not a replacement to course delivery. A quick word on boundaries. It is expected that faculty are actively engaged in the social media initiatives, but it should be done with appropriateness. For these purposes, all faculty should be expected to create social media accounts that are separate from their personal life. This could be a university-specific account, a course-specific account, or even something that's general to the field, their field of expertise or their research area, whatever it may be. But to avoid any potential issue, personal accounts should not be linked within these course instances. If students find faculty members' personal accounts, which they will, discretion and best judgment should be used. The best practice would be to direct students or redirect them to the professional account. That's its purpose. Faculty should also be monitoring the discussion for appropriateness while also allowing the conversation to proceed in an organic manner. As long as the discussion is moving forward and advancing learning, faculty should participate only as an agent of this learning. There's a ton of social media platforms out there, as you can see with this graphic, but which ones are the best for education? I think Facebook, Twitter, or Google Plus, or some combination of the three would be the best route. Facebook. Facebook was actually created for social networking on a college campus, although the reasons for its creation were more than likely not for academic purposes. Most students will likely already be members of this platform and have invested much of their lives into it. It would be easy to capitalize on this and create a Facebook group to facilitate discussion. Students will already be there, taking their effort level of participation in this course to a minimum. Facebook groups can be great, as students can interact and share material. The platform allows the sharing of web links, which include videos and images. When used properly, this alone can contribute a great deal to their educational journey in the course. Facebook is also mobile. As such, many students will have easy access to the platform right in their pocket. Easy access can lead to deeper engagement, as students may be more apt to interact with course materials if they are right in front of them. In the same vein of being right in front of them, the newsfeed feature can be rather beneficial as well, as course content will be available in real time as students swipe through their feed. Having content show up without students having to go look for it may contribute to further engagement. Twitter. Twitter is excellent for sharing quick thoughts or supporting materials. Limited to 140 characters, users must be thoughtful with their content and link out to supporting materials. In an educational setting, this encourages thoughtful articulation and backing up these thoughts with sources. It offers the ability to follow whomever you choose. This allows students to find other students, faculty, or great minds in the field or content area, which will contribute to their access to even more content. Specific lists can be created, for example, #econ101 or #social media presentation, in which users can follow developments specific to these topics. Trending topics can indicate to users what the important topics of the moment are. This can be great for helping students to compile and interact with currently relevant content and relate it to course discussion. Twitter is also accessible in a mobile format, providing quick and easy access to the content and discussion. Google Plus for the Google ecosystem. All Google applications can be accessed from this point and interact with one another. It utilizes a wall, much like Facebook, where all users, groups, companies, whatever, that a user follows will produce content. Users can interact with the content and share as they see fit. It also offers the Google Hangout feature, which is how I'm actually recording this video right now, which is great for collaboration. Users can come together in one-on-one or large group chats, either via text chat, audio, or video, or a combination of the three. An excellent option for groups coming together on an assignment or a project outside of the classroom. Google Drive is easily accessible through Google Plus as well. Drive features several applications like Docs, Sheets, Slides, etc., which are similar to the Microsoft Office suite. This is excellent for the education sector, as students now have access to a suite of free tools with which course assignments can be completed. Additionally, preferences can be set so that students can share documents with assigned group members for added collaboration. This can all occur in real time or on the student's own time. It really is a great platform that I think is probably the best of the three that kind of encompasses everything that we're looking for to promote it. And speaking to that, what's the best? It really depends on the content, the program goals, and the pedagogical style. When I say pedagogical style, there are going to be times or instances where perhaps this format won't work for certain course content. But more often than not, it can always work as a supplement to further student conversation, discussion, students helping one another, asking questions of professors, seeking out resources. That'll always work as a great supplemental tool. The best result will likely be a combination of all three platforms presented, because each contributes something important. Facebook has its ease of use and transition. Students are already familiar with it. They're there probably multiple times a day. Twitter allows for quick communication, easy access to information, and thoughtful discourse. And finally, Google Plus is an excellent resource for promoting collaboration. Again, speaking about Google Hangouts or Google Drive, those two components of Google Plus right there, it's essentially a virtual online classroom, and it doesn't get better than that. All tools will function as an excellent supplemental tool for the traditional classroom. The resources available at each platform are more than capable of supporting new ideas, high collaboration, and increased student engagement. There will be possible challenges, the first being faculty buy-in, which I spoke about a little while ago. Faculty can tend to be resistant to change, resistant to new things being presented to them that they need to learn how to implement. Challenge. But when you approach the idea, showing them how it will be beneficial not only to the students, but also to them, as well as the college in general, faculty may begin to start buying into that. Another challenge is becoming too reliant on technology. I said it before, remember, this is a supplement, not a replacement. We're not going to lean on education as the crutch to help us increase student engagement or further student learning. It's simply another tool added to the picture to help all of it. Like I said before, we've seen the spoken word or the lecture. We've seen the written word or textbooks, film and radio, and now computer-based. As far back as education goes, we're still using elements of that course delivery or content delivery. We're taking pieces from that all the way up till today, combining them to create the best possible outcome. A big thing that would be a huge challenge with this is that student engagement or focus runs the risk of being diminished due to other distractions online. Now, their educational content will live in the same place as their social lives. Keeping student focus on content rather than external stimuli could prove a challenge. That's all going to come down to, again, pedagogical style, how you run a classroom, and again, a lot of this is going to take place outside of the classroom. So as long as a student is driven and they focus on what they need to focus on outside of the classroom, that can kind of circumvent this. And like I said before, with Facebook having a running feed or Google Plus having a running feed, students are already on there looking at their social posts. And as you kind of go through that news feed, you'll start to see some of these course content feeds or posts start to pop up. Students will take notice of that and perhaps make the choice to participate as well. And see, this is social media. This is something that students, as I said, live on. It's a big part of life today. Students will post personal information and details on their personal lives through these platforms. It's important to draw the line between respecting their privacy and reporting behaviors, detrimental behaviors, illegal behaviors, alarming behaviors, we'll say. It's important to understand where that line is drawn, and it's even more important for the college or the department to implement a very, very clear policy on this matter. In my concluding thoughts, technology continues to move forward at breakneck speed. This is why it is so important for us as educators to keep up with the trends. As technology continues to develop, so too will the way our students interact with it. We have already seen how smartphones and their billions of applications have changed how we interact with each other, spend our spare moments, and even how we walk down the street. It would be naive to think that these same applications, or at least the concepts behind them, will or have not had an impact on how we learn. This is why it is important to embrace, adapt, and implement modern technologies into our practice. Social media is an excellent place to start. Students are already heavily invested, most commonly within the three ecosystems described in this presentation. Capitalizing on one or a combination of some or all of these applications will only help to improve our interactions with students, the course content, and their individual learning processes. Here is just a list of the references I used when putting this presentation together. I do hope that you enjoyed it, that you got a little bit out of that, and you understand why it is so important to consider utilizing social media within the classroom and the educational context. Thank you.